listen to the talk, watch the sign. Yeah, listen to the talk, watch. Let's talk about it. Talk about it. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Yeah, yeah, listen to the talk, watch the sign. Yeah, listen to the talk, watch. Let's talk about it. Talk about it. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Talk about it. Yeah, listen to the talk, watch the sign. Yeah, listen to the talk, watch. Let's talk about it. Talk about it. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Yeah, yeah, listen to the talk, watch the sign. Yeah, listen to the talk, watch. Let's talk about it. Talk about it. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Talk about it. Yeah, listen to the talk, watch the sign. Yeah, listen to the talk, watch. Let's talk about it. Talk about it. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Yeah, yeah, listen to the talk, watch the sign. Yeah, listen to the talk, watch. Let's talk about it. Talk about it. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Talk about it. Yeah, listen to the talk, watch the sign. Yeah, listen to the talk, watch. Let's talk about it. Talk about it. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Yeah, yeah, listen to the talk, watch the sign. Yeah, listen to the talk, watch. Let's talk about it. Talk about it. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Talk about it. Yeah, listen to the talk, watch the sign. Yeah, listen to the talk, watch. Let's talk about it. Talk about it. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Yeah, yeah, listen to the talk, watch the sign. Yeah, listen to the talk, watch. Let's talk about it. Talk about it. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Talk about it. Yeah, listen to the talk, watch the sign. Yeah, listen to the talk, watch. Let's talk about it. Talk about it. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Yeah, yeah, listen to the talk, watch the sign. Yeah, listen to the talk, watch. Let's talk about it. Talk about it. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Talk about it. Yeah.
All right. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Rise and shine. This is the day that the Lord has made. We will rejoice and be glad in it. You already know what I say every morning. Every day above ground is a good day. We got another opportunity to do some things better or get some things right that we didn't have quite right on yesterday. So I want to take a moment and just ask you guys to ma'am, sir, make sure that you're following me, number one, but make sure you share the live. Other people need morning inspiration and motivation drive us into what we have the authority and position to live, which is abundant living. And it takes it's a process. So as we go along life's journey, we want to include others. We don't want to be the only ones to be blessed. We don't want to be the only ones living an abundant life. So we want to share with others what God has instilled in us. So, as you see, today's topic is back to the basics. I want to let everybody know that every now and again, life will still happen, heard me say it before, and sometimes we got to just get back to the basics. Now, I don't know what your terminology is for going back to the basics. When we go back to the basics, it's so that we can return to a simpler way of doing something or thinking about something. A lot of times our lives have gotten so full, our lives have gotten so hectic, and then we're going every which way. But the truth of the matter is, when life gets so hectic that you cannot handle it anymore, a great thing to do is to go back to the basics. I'm going to give everybody time to get off, get off right quick because we want to make sure that everybody has the opportunity uh, come on and be on and learn about being back to the basics. So if you would, please, please let me know that you're in the room, and we're going to dive right in. I know this 30 minutes goes by so quick. So I want to go ahead and just dive right in. Okay? So, um, that's the basics. That's the basics. We want to make sure that when life gets so hectic and life situations and circumstances come around us, we want to get back to the basics. So we already know that going back to the basics is to simplify things. Sometimes we get so caught up in our job, so caught up with our kids, so caught up with our significant others, so caught up even in the church. Because I said every good idea is not a God idea. So when we get caught up, and when we get so caught up, we get overwhelmed. You being overwhelmed from day in to day out, me being overwhelmed from day in to day out, is a sign that we might need to just go back to the basics. When I say go back to the basics, going back to the basics means that we need to simplify some things. We need to go back to doing things a simpler way. Uh, we need to go back to the basics, to the foundation. When you used to get up early in the morning and pray. When you used to get up early in the morning and do your meditation. When you used to get up early in the morning and put on your worship music. When you used to get up early in the morning and when you used to get up early in the morning and just tell God, sometimes all life situations and circumstances, we allow the God of heaven to where we have got to get back to the basics. Better, Ebony, still going in and out. All right, great. So I know for me that when I'm being overwhelmed, I have to go back to the basics. Go back to the basics. There's steps to that. But we need to rose early in the morning? One, did you used to rise early? Some of us used to get up at 4 a.m. to pray. And now, life has got us so bogged down. We're so tired. We're so frustrated that we're just rolling out of bed 8, 9 o'clock. Go back to the basics. What about when we used to get up early in the morning and put our worship music on? Good morning, Mother Janet. Good morning, Mother Rita. What about when we used to get up early in the morning and put our worship music on? Go back to the basics. Somebody wants to see it say, back to the basics. We're going back to the basics. Way of doing things simple. Life is so hectic. Do you not understand that we could be so busy and be such covered? That's what happens. That's how the enemy wants us to go through life. But life has been given to us, and we are able to have abundant living, and we cannot get to abundant living if we're living in chaos. So we got to get rid of the chaos. And how do we get rid of the chaos? We go back to the basics. We simplify our lives. We do something a little different. We start for a different way of doing things, a different way of thinking about things. When you get back to the basics, you start giving your attention to the business and most important matter after ignoring it for a while. You knew what it took for your business, but life got so hectic, you forgot about the small things that make that wheel keep turning. One of those small things is prayer. One of those small things is getting up early. One of those small things was you meditating in the morning. One of those small things was you reading the word when you first get up in the morning. One of those small things was you putting on your worship music and praying through the house. Get back to the basics. We're going to get back to the basics. Good morning, Jasmine. Good morning. I want you on my show today. Good morning, Teresa. So we're going to go back to the basics. Well, there's some things that we can do to simplify our lives. You heard me say it before. I don't care how saved, sanctified, filled with the Holy Ghost you are. Life still happens. And when life happens, and you get frustrated, and you're overwhelmed from the time you get up in the morning to the time you go to bed at night, that's again, it's a sign. Somebody say it's a sign. It's a sign. It's a sign that we need to go back to the basics. Now, how do we go back to the basics? I'm saying, number one, you have to know your value and your mission. You can't go where you don't have a roadmap. Again, you can't give away something you don't possess. So you got to know yourself. Somebody say roadmap. In order to get back to the basics, you got to first know your value. You got to first know what you stand on. You got to first know what direction you move. But you know and understand that you can't go to the north, south, east, everywhere all at the same time. The enemy comes confused. God give us a roadmap. Then we get our lives so easy and so hectic, we get off the path. So the first thing we're going to do to get back to the basics is know your purpose. Know which direction you want to go in. Somebody put it down for me. Know about stewards over our time. So going back to the basics, All right, you guys. Can y'all hear me now? Can somebody tell me if you can hear me now? Wow. Well, I just want to tell everybody good morning. I appreciate you guys coming on to the show. I really appreciate that. This is such a great message. That's why come God want me to give out this message. It's a great message for you and for me. I wasn't going to stop. So if everybody can hear me now, y'all please go with me as I tell you again. Number one, you have to know your value. We're getting back to the basics. So you got to know your values. Okay. That's number one. Number two is be mindful of your mental space. Be mindful. Don't let people rent space in your mind. You got to be mindful of your mental space. Okay. I don't know who can hear or not, but just in case you go back and listen to it later, I want to make sure that you get this message. It's really good. The next thing that was on the list was you got to be intentional with your time. You got to be intentional with your time. Again, there's a Bible lesson. Excuse me, a Bible prayer that lets me know that I have to be intentional with my time. Think about it. God goes along with time. He said that he did all these things. He made all this stuff, but on the seventh day, he rested. Somebody say he rested. Some of us is going and going and going and going and going, and we're going so hard in the paint that we're not getting any rest. And that's what's causing us to be overwhelmed. It's causing us to miss things. That's why it's so important for us to be mindful with our time. Another thing that I said about time is, what did you used to do when your life was going great? What was some of the things that you used to do? You used to get up early in the morning and tell God thank you. You used to get up early and put on your worship music. You used to get up early and pray. There are some things that we have to do in order to have abundant life, and that is get back to the basics. I know that life is hectic. I know that life is chaotic, but if you would just focus on the simpler things, then by going back to the basics. Somebody say again, back to the basics. That's where we want to get to so that we can live this abundant life. I know that we lost some people during the little interruption, but I'm just gonna go on and go forward because God is just that good. So we're gonna know your value. You're gonna know your vision because God says in his word we perish for lack of vision. Then we're gonna be mindful of our mental space. Because too many people is renting space in your head. What do you mean by that, Minister Sonja? I mean that somebody told you a long time ago that you wasn't going to be nothing, you wasn't going to do nothing, you wasn't going to have nothing. And they've been renting space in your head for a long time. So you got to be mindful of your mental space and not allowing other folks to rent space in your head. We're going to be intentional with our time. Like my prayer, I say, Lord, give us wisdom to be good stewards over our time so that we're not procrastinating, so that we're not wasting time, so that we're spending time with you. Just give us wisdom. Here's a biggie. The next thing to do to get back to the basics, you've got to learn how to say no. That's a gift, especially for us who are givers naturally, for us who always want to give, for us who always want to see everybody else do better. You got to stir up the gift of no. Every now and again, you need to say no. I'm not able to do that at this time. I'm not able to give at this time. I'm not able to do those things for you at this time. It's okay to say no, especially when you're trying to get back to the basics. That's a gift. That's a gift. It's a gift, especially for those of us who always say yes. We're tired. I got a call this morning. I don't know why I answered the phone during that time. I get up early anyway, but I got a phone call. The phone woke me up about 2:30, 3 o'clock, and somebody was incarcerated, and they wanted me to come get them. 2 o'clock. No, I'm not able to do that at this time. There used to be a time that it didn't matter what time it was. It didn't matter how late you called me, how early you called me. I would break my neck. But see, some of us is getting out of God's routine, trying to do a good thing. Again, everything that's good is not God. And sometimes we're in God's way. So we need to stir up the gift of no. No, I'm not able to do that today. No, I'm not able to take you to work. No, I'm not able to pay your light bill. No, I'm not able to pick up your car. No, I'm not able to do that. Why? Because it's about God's agenda and not the good agenda. Somebody say God's agenda. See, when we're walking in God's agenda, that's what leads us on the path of abundant living. So we have to learn to say no. Then the next thing, to get back to the basics, sometimes you have to even question the stories that you tell yourself. You tell yourself, well, I know I'm being a good Christian, so I got to give them my last $10 because I'm being a good Christian. No, you only give your last when God tells you to give your last. Sometimes we're given to folk, we're given to things, we're given to conferences, we're given to stuff that God has not assigned to you. That's what causes the chaos in your life as well. That's why it's important to go back to the basics so that we can get our agenda from God. Somebody say God's agenda. That's whose agenda we want to be on. Again, every good thing is not a God thing. Every good thing is not a God thing. It's not. It's just not. I had to write that myself. Every good thing is not a God thing. So we're going to go back to the basics. So we're going to know our value. We're going to be mindful of who's renting space in our head. We're going to be intentional with our time. We're going to learn to say no. Sometimes question your own self. The stories that you tell yourself, the stories that you have started to believe that God did not assign to you. And then we're going to implement or put systems in place, and we're going to stick to it. Somebody say stick to it. We're going to stick to it. If God have led you and unctioning you to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning and praise him, we're going to stick to it. We're going to start sticking to the things that God have assigned to us. If you've been assigned to do exercise every morning, then you need to stick to it. If you've been assigned that at 6 o'clock in the morning is you and God's time together, you need to stick to it. If you've been assigned to go to the hospital and pray for folks, you need to stick to it. we're going back to the basics. But again, sometimes we've gotten away from the basic things that God have given us. We say the Bible, basic instructions before leaving earth. Well, God said that his way is the way, the truth, and the light. So we got to stop doing things our way and do things God's way if we want abundant living. We got to learn how to go back to the basics. After we implement our systems and our routines, and we get in a routine and we start doing things consistently, because consistency is the key to success. We have to learn to be consistent. What I mean by that, even consistent in your attitude, even consistency with your gratitude. You have to be consistent to live an abundant life. You can't get mad one day and cuss folk out, and then get mad the next day at somebody and say, well, I'm just going to let God deal with it. We have to be consistent. We know last week I was teaching about love being patient, love being kind. We have to consistently love. We have to consistently love on God. We have to consistently love ourselves, or we're no good for somebody else. The reason why we have gotten so bogged down, the reason why our lives are so chaotic, is because we're out of the will of God. There is a permissive will that God that just will permit you to do. Oh, excuse me. Or his perfect will. So you got to understand that we're going to go back to the basics. We're going to know our value. We're going to be mindful of our mental space. We're going to be intentional with our time. We're going to stir up the gift of no. Now, that does not mean that you go around telling everything, no, I ain't doing that. No, I ain't doing this. No, I ain't doing that. I said, ask God, are you supposed to be doing something? Ask God, is that your assignment in that moment? So if it is not your assignment, then, and sometimes it's just not the time right then. Again, back to what I was saying. Somebody called me in the middle of the night to come and get them from jail. I'm like, no, I can't do that. I'm resting. I have a busy day. So if you still in there by the time I get finished with my 4 a.m. prayer and I get everything lined up, then I'll come and get you. So learn the gift of no. And then just reflect. But here's the last one, the seventh one, is declutter your space. Listen, I can come in your house and look around your house. I can look in your car. If you got clutter everywhere, 9 times out of 10, your life is cluttered too. Declutter your space. Declutter it physically, declutter it mentally, declutter emotionally, declutter financially. Some of us, from a financial standpoint, you done hook things to come out of your account automatically, and you don't even use those things no more. You ain't even watching Prime Video, but you're paying a Prime Video bill every month. Declutter. So you guys, I had to go over a little bit with the technical difficulty this morning, but we're going back to the basics. Back to the basics so that we can get to abundant living. Good morning, Reverend Brown, Pastor Brown. Good morning. Nate, thank you so very much. Mother Janice, thank you. Thank everybody for coming on. I'm going to see you guys tomorrow at the same time, same place, 8 a.m. I hope and pray that you have a blessed day. I hope you take this time out to declutter your stuff, for you to get back to the basics, to know your values. And your homework for today is to write down the things that you need to do on tomorrow. Write them down, because the Bible says, write the vision, make it plain. Though it tarry, wait for it. It shall speak and not lie. It shall come to pass. The truth of the matter is, when we go into the grocery store, it's been scientifically proven that if you write a grocery list, you'll go in there and get the groceries that you need. If you go in without a list, you end up getting things that you didn't even go in there to get. That's the same way with life. Write that thing down so that you can live life to its fullest. And that is going back to the basics. It's your girl Sonja here on the Talk Box. Thanks so much. We'll see you on tomorrow.
To the Talk Box. Let's talk about it.
Here on the Talk Box. We're here Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 8:30. I know we went over a little bit today, but it's been a blessing to be with you guys. Thank y'all so very much for sharing the live. Make sure you're telling folks to come and meet us here on the Talk Box, 8 a.m.